Hey, a real-life field of dreams now. A father and son visit 30 ballparks in just 60 days. Heather shows us how you can be among the first in the country to see the documentary about their fascinating road trip.
In 1990, my dad and I set out on a dream. We were to see all 30 major league ballparks.
A project which began 16 years ago finally comes to fruition. Today, Dan Cochran and his son Robert can be proud of many things. They completed their tour and completed a film.
You put a camera on some people and the most amazing things happen.
That's exactly what they did, filming themselves and the people they ran into. The Cochrans kicked off their nationwide tour in Phoenix at Bank One Ballpark in June 2004. It was a goodbye of sorts.
I was diagnosed with Parkinson's in '01. The doctor told me I could be in a wheelchair next year or I could be in a wheelchair 30 years from now. There's no way of knowing.
Not knowing what it meant to have Parkinson just put us into that place to say, let's go now, because we know we can.
So I may not be the same person when this is over.
The documentary, called Boys of Summer, is not only about the unusual road trip, but also about the changing relationship between a child and an aging parent.
But it was very clear, made very clear, we agreed that, you know, he was the guy in charge, and he did it and did it well.
To see him looking feeble sometimes, I remember having nightmares actually early on in the trip of my dad falling, one of my dad being picked on by other people, and the anger that came inside me to rush to defense almost like he was my son.
We met father and son this afternoon at Scottsdale Stadium. Dan is doing remarkably well on a new medication. He feels it's given him extra time in life, time he didn't think he'd have when this project began.
My golf handicap's gone from 14 to 32, now back down to 23, so it's not a bad trend.
Friends, family, and sponsors who help pay for the trip have all seen the film. It carries a message the Cochrans say everyone can relate to because there's something so basic about Americans' love for baseball and for family.
People who've said, you know what, thanks for this, I'm going to call my dad, you know, or, you know, we got to go to a game, you know. I mean, that's the kind of thing that makes me so excited.
All right, you gotta love that story. Boys of Summer makes its world debut tomorrow night right here at the Phoenix Film Festival, and the Cochrans promise a surprise for everybody who goes to see it at the Seneca Capri Theater in the North Valley. Very touching.